It's Tuesday, March 16. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. On Monday, Jamaica became the first country in the Caribbean to receive COVID-19 vaccines through the COVAX facility. The arrival marks a historic step towards ensuring the equitable distribution of COVID-19 vaccines worldwide in the largest vaccine procurement and supply operation in history. On Monday, March 15, Jamaica received 14,400 doses of the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine through the COVAX facility.
You saw the vaccines being unloaded on the tarmac. It's in good condition. There's a temperature gauge on the containers, I'm sure packed with dry ice on the inside to preserve the integrity of the product. And so we have no fear that we're receiving a good product which will be put to good use. We are receiving the first shipment of vaccines that is paid for. Everything else has been a gift. And I know there's been a lot of talk about whether Jamaica is behind the line. Why is it that we are so far behind? Well, if we want to put it in terms of first, here's a first that I think we all should be proud of and happy for. But more importantly, it does speak to the challenges of vaccine availability to solving the global pandemic that we face.
Every dose arriving in Jamaica brings the promise of protection for many more families from COVID-19 infection. Over time, this will bring the pandemic to an end and reduce its harmful secondary impact on children. Children can then return to school, access critical services, and reduce their vulnerability to violence at home and in the community.
PAHO's revolving fund is responsible for the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines for the countries of the Americas under the COVAX mechanism.
The arrival of these vaccines, together with the 50,000 doses, which arrived in Jamaica last week as a donation from the government of India, will serve to protect priority groups and those most at risk, such as health workers and older adults, and jumpstart the COVID-19 vaccination program in Jamaica. Some seven countries in our region have begun receiving COVAX vaccines procured by PAHO's revolving fund, and more is expected to do so in March. The doses and availability of vaccines under COVAX are subject to the emergency use approval, the EUL, by WHO, the manufacturing production capacity, as well as establishing supply agreements between producers, PAHO, and UNICEF. The pre-qualifications of vaccines to be used through COVAX allows PAHO to offer vaccines with the highest effectiveness and safety standards.
Jamaica is expected to receive a total of 124,800 vaccines, the amount specified by COVAX. Parliamentarians, heads of ministries, departments and agencies of government who are 60 years and older began receiving the vaccination against the virus that causes COVID-19 today, Tuesday, March 16. They join frontline healthcare workers and members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defense Force. More than 31,000 Jamaicans have been infected by the virus, which has claimed the lives of over 490 people locally. Jamaica's COVID-19 vaccination program began on March 10. Included in the first batch of persons to be vaccinated were former Prime Ministers P.J. Patterson and Bruce Golding, and former Governor General Sir Kenneth Hall. Since then, more than 12,000 people have been vaccinated. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is reminding the public that vaccines are being administered according to the approved schedule. Persons must attend vaccination sites only after they have received their appointments. Up to Monday, March 15, there were over 15,000 active COVID-19 cases on the island. Here are the most current figures from the Health and Wellness Ministry.
In the clinical management summary for Monday, March 15, 2021, 602 new COVID-19 cases and 2 deaths were reported. An 86-year-old woman from Kingston and St. Andrew and an 82-year-old man from St. Mary are the latest of 494 Jamaicans to succumb to the virus. The overall case count is 31,907 with 15,807 active cases. In the parish breakdown, Kingston and St. Andrew returned 146 positives, while St. Catherine had 104 and 52 were recorded in Clarendon. St. Anne reported 49 cases, Portland 43 and St. James 42. Westmoreland reported 41, Hanover 33, Trelawney 26, St. Mary 21, Manchester and St. Elizabeth both had 16 cases, and St. Thomas 13. 118 recoveries were also recorded, adding to the overall figure of 15,371. At this time, there are 354 people hospitalized, 31 are moderate, and 27 are said to be critical. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
As Phase 1 of the island's vaccination drive continues, over in Westmoreland, mobile vaccination teams are being set up. Medical Health Officer for Westmoreland, Dr. Master Graham, says this will facilitate ease of access to the vaccine. According to Dr. Graham, the mobile teams will work with the counsellors in communities. They will also be targeting incarcerated persons as well as those in nursing homes and infirmaries. As we reported yesterday, the government is pushing ahead with its national tree planting initiative to plant 3 million trees. Aside from their ecological value, trees can also be a source of economic wealth. The bamboo tree grown here in Jamaica is highly versatile. It can be used to create a range of items including medicines, clothes, furniture, and houses. Marlon Samuels unearthed the budding potential of this gold mine commodity.
It looks like a tree stretching into the air, but it's actually a grass, and it can grow by 1 meter or 3 feet in 24 hours. We're talking about bamboo. Across the world, there are over 1,000 different species of bamboo. The largest species found in Jamaica is the Bambusa vulgaris. There's an estimated 65,000 hectares of bamboo in Jamaica. Bamboo is regarded as a miracle plant that comes with a wide variety of uses. China has been using bamboo paper to write on since the Han Dynasty, which was some 200 years before Christ. It's also used medicinally because of its antibacterial properties. Bamboo shoots or sprouts can be eaten. It's high in fiber, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. You can order a range of dishes made from bamboo, including salads, soups, and stir-fry dishes. One can also sip on a cold beer from this grass. The diverse use of bamboo is almost never-ending. Recently, we are seeing bamboo transformed into fabrics. Some say it's as soft as silk. Bamboo is used globally as a building material. This is owing to its compressive strength, which some say is even stronger than concrete. In fact, its strength makes it a perfect replacement for tensile steel when reinforcing concrete. Aside from being durable and eco-friendly, bamboo as a construction material is inexpensive. Here in Jamaica, bamboo is also used as an alternative construction material. It is used to create beautiful floorings, accessories such as rugs, and wicker furniture, which is quite popular. The plastic ban has been a blessing in disguise, forcing local manufacturers to seek out eco-friendly alternative materials. One such Jamaican company is the Little Bamboo Hut. They transform the versatile bamboo plant into straws, utensils, plates, and pens. tourism remains one of the mainstays of Jamaica's economy. Again, bamboo adds to the island's GDP with its myriad of uses in this vital industry. When you see menta bands welcome visitors to our shores, the last thought on your mind would be of bamboo. But guess what? Some of the musical instruments being used by these band members are made from bamboo. The rafts that carry visitors down the beautiful Rio Grande River are made of bamboo. Jamaica has been taking steps to expand its bamboo industry, to tap into the lucrative global market for bamboo products, which is estimated at US $10 billion. The island is also using it for construction of low-cost houses, which are also producing value-added products such as furniture and charcoal. Not only is it being used in Jamaica as an alternative to traditional charcoal, it is now being exported. In fact, Jamaica is the first country in the world to export bamboo charcoal to the United States. From here, the sky's the limit to what the bamboo plant can be used to do. With its high adaptability, one can never know where the bamboo production will lead us next. What is certain, however, that any bridge that the island can now build to economic prosperity will more likely be made from bamboo. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Marlon Samuels.
It's often said water is life. Water has enormous value for our households, food, culture, health, education, economics, and our natural environment. It's a critical resource that must be protected. On Tuesday, Jamaica held a virtual World Water Day Forum. March 22, 2021 is being observed as World Water Day under the theme, Valuing Water. In today's business report, Gabriel Thompson gives us the usual market updates, but there are also bonus tips from the Tax Administration Jamaica on how to keep proper records, which are a must for any business.
In Monday's trading session, the JSE combined index declined by 1,141 points to close at under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 90 stocks, of which 37 advanced, 36 declined, and 17 traded firm. The junior market index declined by 13 points to close at under 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for Access Financial Services Limited, AMG Packaging and Paper Company, and CAC 2000 9.5% preference shares. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica, Barita Investments Limited, and Berger Paints Jamaica Limited. Trading firm were 1834 Investments Limited, Blue Power Group, and Epley Caribbean Property Fund Limited. Dermont Trading Company Limited was the volume leader with 4.5 million units, followed by Mailpack Group Limited with 2.8 million units, and Sagicor Select Funds Limited Manufacturing and Distribution with 1.7 million units. In foreign exchange trading for Monday, March 15, the US dollar ended trading at $147.08. The Canadian dollar sold for an average $117.61. The pound sterling traded for $204.30, and the euro ended trading at $174.97. Oil prices dropped on Tuesday, extending declines to 3 consecutive days as rising stockpiles in the United States added to the risks to a demand recovery after countries including Germany and France halted COVID-19 vaccinations. These moves are deepening concerns about a slow pace of vaccinations in the European Union, which may delay any economic recovery from the pandemic in one of the hardest hit areas. The pandemic eviscerated demand for oil, but prices have recovered to levels seen before the global health crisis, only to be capped as vaccination rollouts have been slow in most countries. Brent crude futures dropped $1.03 to $67.85 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell 96 cents to $64.43 a barrel. Running a business can be quite stressful, even more so during tax season. The Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ is offering help through its Special Taxpayer Assistance Program STAP. In this video, Programs Analyst Tamara Small will outline the requirements for keeping good records, examples of records that you should be keeping, how keeping good records benefit you, and tips to keep your records up to date and safe.
Keeping good records is vital to the survival of any business. Good records help you to be aware of the financial position of your business over time. Did you know that a registered tax bill is required to keep and maintain books and records for a period of 6 years? These records are to be kept in English and at the principal or main business place in Jamaica. If you file different or separate tax returns for branches of the same business, accounting records must be kept at those branches also. Additionally, all changes made and the dates they were made should be recorded in date order for ease of reference. The records must be kept in a form and contain information which will allow you and the authorities to determine your liabilities and obligations under the law, or the amount of any credit or refund to which you may be entitled. Here are examples of books and records to be kept: purchases and sales books, purchase invoices, import and export documents, sales invoices, income and expense records, cash register tapes, copies of GCT returns, purchase orders zero-rated by Tax Administration Jamaica, bank statements, and tax invoices. This list is not exclusive, and you will realize that the type of business you are in will also help determine the information you will need to record and keep. Now, let's talk about how well-kept records benefit your business. Keeping good records may benefit you or your business by shortening the length of time an income tax audit takes to be completed, helping to verify all your business expenses for tax audit purposes. It may help you to get loans from banks and other creditors to grow your business. Financial institutions will need evidence of your ability to repay loans and will need to use your records to help determine this. A lack of proper records could prevent you from having access to needed financing. Proper records keep you better informed about the financial position of your business and help you to know if you're making profits or losses. It can also mean tax savings, as it can be used as a reminder of expenses related to the business that should be deducted before arriving at taxes payable. Here are some tips for keeping good and safe records. The first thing we suggest is that you establish a procedure around recording your business data. For example, set aside time daily or weekly when this all gets done. Secondly, it will help to keep your business and personal expenses separate. You need to identify business expenses in order to properly determine if your business is feasible. Always get enough documentation to back up your claims for business expenses, such as invoices, canceled checks, or receipts. Keep your records organized and in an easy-to-reach location. If you are frequently on the road, establish a system to keep all your receipts. For example, keep a labeled envelope handy for receipts, or you may choose to use a notebook and record your sales and purchases on separate pages. Consider scanning or taking a picture of receipts and invoices to save space and time. Always keep security in mind. File cabinets should be locked, computers should be password protected, and backup copies should be kept in a separate and safe place. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you found this video useful. For more information and assistance with meeting your tax obligations, you may visit the Tax Administration Jamaica's website at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm or call our customer care center at 1-888-TAX-HELP. That's 888-829-4357, or send us an email at taxhelp@taj.gov.jm. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business by working together to serve you even better.
And on that note, we end this Tuesday edition of the Business Report Inside the News on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
In regional news, in the Bahamas, it's a tragic start to the week for 3 families after 2 women and 1 man were killed in a boating accident. Kyle Walkin visited the island and filed this report.
Just one of the 2 boats involved in that accident. As you can see, based on the damage, the sheer impact of that collision. But this accident sending shockwaves through mainland Eleuthera as well as Harbour Island. A boat capsized in water near the dock on Harbour Island. On the other side anchored another boat with a badly damaged bow. All that's left after a 24-foot Mako and a 20-foot Phoenix collided near Girls Bank just off Harbour Island.
There was about 7 persons on the vessel that received the most damage. 5 of those persons would have gotten thrown off the boat. Officers left the dock here along with a number of locals to begin search and rescue.
Moments later, their search would prove their worst fears to be true.
He went under and he said he feels something, and then went back down and he brought up this beautiful girl, and everybody started screaming, and they got so frantic, whereas the police pulled up and they started telling everybody to leave.
A few hours later, the body of the other woman was found. Donovan Clare says the scene was chaotic as the bodies of 2 Eleuthera women were pulled from the water. They were later identified as Leanna Cartwright and Candace McDonald. Clare, who didn't wish to be on camera as he was grief-stricken, says his search efforts went well into the morning as the search continued for his nephew, Jay Roberts. Sadly, Clare had the tough task of pulling his body from the water. His pants still wet from the ordeal as he spoke with us this morning.
I dove over because he was just laying on his back, face up, with his hands up. It was sad, and they was like, "Oh, get some goggles." I was like, "Goggles? I don't need no goggles." I just dove over and brought him up.
The incident sending shockwaves throughout the island as 3 other people on the boat were airlifted for treatment.
I just saw them out here to the edge of the bank. They call it Girls Bank, and they was
the 2 boats.
Yeah, the 2 boats looking for the person, and they found it. A bonefish store, found it, and they got the body and they brought it in. But I think they took it in the Spanish Wells because the morgue is full.
It was chaotic there, People go on, they had airlifting folks in Nassau, because she had to lift 3 people into Nassau, It was shocking, because we don't have those kind of things on the island.
Police investigations continue. Meanwhile, family and friends of the victims are left to mourn the loss of the 3 young lives lost.
I went by the clinic and I couldn't believe it, because, he's a nice guy, man. He don't bother no, he don't trouble no one. That's a freak accident. I don't know. That got everyone sad right now.
From Harbour Island for Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
The Barbados Investment and Development Corporation is owed some $12 million in rent. Delinquent tenants are being told to pay up. Minister of International Business said the defaulters have been asked on several occasions to make arrangements to settle outstanding rents. He said the situation is affecting the corporation's ability to fully carry out its mandate. More from Barbados Today.
The minister made the disclosure during the first day of the estimates debate in Parliament yesterday.
All we were asking was that people go in and just trend in the right direction. Show some element of good faith. That's all you ask of tenants, at the BIDC. And instead you get some people who owe the BIDC as much as $1.2 million in arrears of rent and are still tenants of BIDC. No, fear is fear. You understand COVID, you grant relief in hardship, in hard times. But how are you expect an institution to run when in fact a major source of its revenue? You know how many programs you see them, Ms. Lewis, that you're here speaking in here, can be running if she had the sort of mind that you will hear shortly when I turn over to the acting CEO, is owed to the BIDC in terms of rent. So come on, people, we just got to be reasonable.
The BIDC's acting chief executive officer, Dwayne Stewart, also told Parliament that the unpaid rent was also hampering the operations of the state agency.
The amount that is owed to the corporation on the books right now, approximately $6 million. However, I want to express a bit of clarity when it comes to that number, because there are some persons who are still tenants of the BIDC, still operating in the space, and because the arrears may have been removed from the books in terms of the accounting, we are still tracking the amounts that are owed by those persons. So persons who are in the space and are owing the BIDC, the arrears currently stand at about $12 million in arrears. As the minister indicated, we have some pretty large amounts owed in terms of, one tenant for sure owes $1.2 million, and that person is still in the space. And we're speaking about arrears that are owing for a number of years. So even pre-COVID, in terms of not paying, it continues to hamper our operations. And when we think of the fact that there's that same space that is occupied, we've had at least 2 or 3 expressions of interest from persons who would want to get in the space, in terms of persons who are currently in business, profitable businesses, that are looking for the size square footage that is there. But the challenge, of course, is persons not paying their rent, and then, of course, us acting upon the notices to quit to evict persons from our space.
In sports, we sprint off with athletics. August 13 to 15 is a new date for the CARIFTA Games. This event, which is normally held in April, has been pushed back yet again due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Chairman of Medical and Anti-Doping at North American, Central American and Caribbean Athletics Association, Dr. Adrian Lord, has given the assurance that the games will be safe. And bowling to cricket. Cricket commentator Michael Holding is the winner of the Sports Journalists Association SJA Award for Best Pundit in 2020. The former Jamaica and West Indies fast bowler got the nod for his commentary on racial injustice during Sky Cricket's coverage of England against West Indies in July 2020. The Sky Cricket team, where Holding works alongside former cricket captains Mike Atherton and Nasser Hussain, also won the SJA Award for Best Television Digital Live Event Coverage for the England versus West Indies Black Lives Matter coverage. And that's our package. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, for more news and sports right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.